Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Cohn phone. I'm Grant Cohn. It's been a few days since I've been streaming. I'm getting my kitchen renovated. The kitchen is right above me, and the renovation is very loud. So I'm not streaming anymore during the day, which kind of puts a damper on my business. But at the same time, training camp starts this week, so I can't stream during the day anyway. So it works out. So I'll be streaming on the weekends and at night now. And next week I'll be streaming after practices and interviews and stuff. So that'll be interesting. Call in show today. The link is in the description. The link's in the chat box if you want to call in and tell me what you think about things or ask me a question. Never really get questions. People call in, hey Grant, how you doing? Good. I got 3 things I want to say. All right, man. You got 4 minutes to say them, but it usually takes 8 minutes. Anyway, I got things I want to say first since probably this is my only opportunity to talk on this show. So let's start with the clip that was going around Twitter yesterday. This came from the owners' meetings. I was there. It was like 3 months ago, so it's not breaking news. But for whatever reason, it struck a chord with Niner fans, and it was talked about, written about. Kyle Shanahan interviewed by Steve Weish of NFL Network, and he was basically laying out the quarterback situation. And it's refreshing to hear because we don't hear Kyle talk very much. I don't think he talks off the record, and a lot of insiders all offseason have been speculating. It's going to be Sam Darnold week 1. It's going to be yada, yada. They hate Trey. They love, like, we've heard all this speculation from people who we assume have sources, but it's all speculation. And when it comes from Kyle, it's real. And I think what Kyle's attitude is, it doesn't matter which quarterback's going to be is going to play for this team. I think that's his attitude. It really doesn't matter. They're all going to play well until they get hurt. I think that's Kyle's mentality. None of them are going to stay healthy. They're all going to play well. They're not going to win and lose games based on their quarterback. They have a great roster. I think he feels that Trey Lance would have played well last year eventually had he not gotten injured. I think he feels that Sam Darnold would play very well in this team right now. And I think he feels that Brock Purdy's proven it. So I don't think he thinks it's a problem at all. I think he's realistic about the fact that his offensive line isn't really there to protect the quarterback. He doesn't really put much of an emphasis on that as a play caller. And his quarterbacks get hurt. That's just a reality of it. So rather than beef up the offensive line, he had a chance to do that. He didn't want to do that. He actually let it get worse on paper. He just got more quarterbacks. I think he's very self-aware. He's like, look, I didn't like Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback at all. Jimmy had a lot of success with me. His numbers were good. We won a lot of games. And I ran him out of town. So I don't have to love the quarterback to be able to win with him and get good numbers out of him. I can win with Brock Purdy. Does that mean he's a franchise quarterback? Not necessarily. Brock Purdy could start week 1. Does that mean he's going to be starting week 10? Not necessarily, because I'm not going to protect him. Can he protect himself? He did an okay job at that last year. Doesn't really matter. It's really, I think Kyle is realistic, pragmatic, and he's thinking it'll be the last man standing. Whoever starts week 1 probably won't be starting at the end. But you know what? It doesn't matter because I had 3 guys I feel confident enough in. That's all he needs. 3 guys who can start in the NFL, and he feels like this team can elevate him. It's kind of strange. I mean, if you think about it, he's the exact opposite of Andy Reid. A lot of people compare him to Andy Reid, because Andy Reid got close early on in his career to winning a Super Bowl but couldn't get over the hump. But Andy Reid's philosophy as an offensive genius is the opposite of Kyle's. Andy Reid's philosophy is give me a franchise quarterback, not a game manager or point guard or a guy who can distribute or dink and dunk. No, give me a weapon, an MVP candidate franchise quarterback, Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick. Alex Smith was the number 1 pick in the draft. And now Patrick Mahomes. Give me a real weapon at quarterback and give me one of the best offensive lines in the league. After that, Andy Reid's like, yeah, I mean, weapons are important, but he had seasons where he had very little weapons in Philly and Kansas City. Jeremy Maclin. I mean, he'll figure it out. He's a really good coach. He can draft people. He can get guys late in the draft who are explosive and fast. He found Isaiah Pacheco. He found Tyreek Hill late in the draft. Like, he can get guys. Kyle is over here like, I'm an offensive genius, but I need to have Christian McCaffrey. I need to have the highest paid running back, the highest paid tight end, the highest paid wide receiver, the highest paid left tackle. Like, Andy Reid's perspective, like, man, nah, I just need the quarterback in the offensive line. Kyle's the exact opposite. I need the weapons. I need the defense. And the quarterback's interchangeable. So when we hear reports like the Niners love Brock or whatever, I don't think that's Kyle. I think that's the front office. I think Kyle doesn't give a damn. That's my interpretation. One more topic, and then I'll get to the calls. We got Luis, Voice Ad Agency, and Papa Dragon. Man, it's been a minute. Good to see you guys. This is I think the most interesting thing about the 49ers roster construction. Like, obviously, they don't necessarily put as much emphasis on the quarterback position as other teams, but they got 3 guys they like, and they have made some big investments in that position. They made Jimmy Garoppolo the highest paid player in the league at one point. They spent 3 years worth of first round picks on Trey Lance. They haven't gotten it right. They haven't nurtured these quarterbacks or scouted them correctly or whatever, but they're trying. At right tackle, they've made like a conscious decision to just ignore the position as if it's right guard or center. And I think what's interesting is that's a trend that the rest of the league isn't on board with. I found this yesterday online on Twitter that the last 10 years, right tackle salaries have, on average, have increased by 209%. Quarterbacks, 150%. So no position has become more valuable over the last 10 years. Their value has exploded more than right tackle. And yet Kyle and the 49ers are looking at right tackle like it's still 1997. So let's explain why. What the Niners want their right tackle to do is be a run blocker. And they run outside zone to the right. When they run outside zone to the right, who's at the point of attack? The right tackle? No. The tight end. Can you visualize it? They're running outside zone to the right. You got Kittle out there. You got Juszczyk out there too. So the right tackle is important, but if you really think about it, like he's like a guard in that scheme. He's not. The success of that play, getting the edge, sealing the edge, is really coming down to Kittle. So he's a run blocker, the right tackle, but he's not even the most important run blocker on the outside zone play the tight end is. So that's where they're at. I mean, they're never going to spend big bucks on that position. They might draft him high, but when it's time to give him a contract, I mean, they weren't in play for McGlinchey, who I don't like, but there's also Jawan Taylor, really good right tackle. You know who got him? Kansas City, the team that won the Super Bowl, because they value the right tackle position. The Niners don't. The Niners thinking that we have these closed formations or a run-first team, the tight ends at the point of attack. Who gives a damn about the right tackle? Well, other teams give a damn about the right tackle because it's becoming more of an open formation league. Open, closed formation means where's the tight end? Is he attached or not? On the Niners, he's attached a lot. They're running outside zone. On the Chiefs, Travis Kelce's in the slot. He's out wide. Like, he's detached. He's the go-to guy. And so if that's the case and you don't have a tight end and 3-point stance next to the right tackle helping him, or a fullback over there chipping to help him, that guy needs to be like essentially a left tackle. Same thing. And on a lot of teams, they have right tackles who are like left tackles. Jawan Taylor's like that. The Niners don't. Their right tackles are guys who are like can't really hold up in pass protection. They're run blocking specialists. So the rest of the league has figured out you need essentially 2 bookend offensive tackles. Left tackle A and left tackle B. And the Niners like, nah, we don't need that. We got George Kittle. Okay. That's one area where the league has zigged and the Niners haven't. They're like, we're sticking to the 1997 blueprint here and devaluing the right tackle position, while the rest of the league is like, no, we need like a franchise player at right tackle and we'll pay for it. I think Kyle needs to get with the times on that one, man. It's 2023. Get a good right tackle. All right, let's get some calls up in this show. Voice Ad Agency, what's up?
What's going on, Grant? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Can you hear me all right with the audio?
Yeah, your audio is better than usual today.
All right. Well, you see, I always like making a thing of calling you out, and my call out to you on this one is you calling me out on the last call.
All right.
Hazy.
All right.
Everything else, and then seeing me having a hard day, seeing me just trying to get a beer before I jumped on, and you saw me fumble it in the house and everything. So it's all good until the shots are fired back, right?
Yeah, man. All right, man. What's on your head? What's on your mind today?
So today I'm gonna double down on that. I think Trey Lance should be the starting QB week 1. Let Brock Purdy kill and see what we have there. And if we need to switch to Brock Purdy, then let's switch to him. And
honestly, that's what I would want to do if I were Brock. I would want to do the way I see it is this offensive line is worse than last year. I mean, there's a clear pattern of quarterbacks not staying healthy. You want to blame whoever you want to blame. It doesn't matter. Like, I want to be the last man standing. I want to be the last man standing on this team. I want to be playing in December and January And I feel like the best way to do that is to not be playing in September and October. I mean, that's the way I look at it, being honest.
I feel you on that. And, you said that a few times and I've thought about that. But, one thing that I don't think we consider a lot is what Trey Lance has been thrown into in his 4 starts and how resilient he is.
Yep.
And I want to double down on that. So I want to go, I know we're going way back, but I want to go back to his very first start in Arizona, where they were going against Arizona, really good defense at that time. Arizona was 4-0 for him just to be thrust into that, but to be thrust into that without a key player.
Yeah.
And do you know who that key player that I'm talking about?
Tell me.
All right. So we obviously know George Kittle didn't play, correct? Was there another key player that Trey Lance did not have in that game? Can you
Christian?
remember? Nope.
Who?
Robbie Gould.
Oh, wow. That's true. They couldn't kick in that game.
Exactly. That's the reason why he had to go on so many 4th and whatever it was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about the adversity that this young kid has played through, and he still kept in the game against an undefeated Cardinals right then. If we go to his first start.
This is one thing I want to say about Trey. I feel like last year was a little like the first year you could give like, man, you broke your finger. That's not your fault. You were 21. Then they anointed him last year. And that first game in Chicago wasn't great. It wasn't all his fault, but it just didn't look that good. And
but hold on, Grant. I don't mean to interrupt you, but hold on though. So before it started pouring down rain, he was 8.
I know he was like 8 of 14. He was 8 of 14. No. I'm not saying it looked bad.
Okay.
It just didn't look that great. And I feel like Kyle said, he was going to start rolling. He was going to start rolling, but it just didn't feel like he was 100% super prepared like he could have been. And I keep going back to the Making It Rain video and the DMs I was getting to him in the offseason. I kind of feel like he wasn't quite ready for how they anointed him last year. And I think he's ready now, is what I'm trying to say. He just got slapped in the face with so much adversity. Like, dude, it's over. It could be over for you. This is not your team necessarily. You're not necessarily the franchise guy. What are you going to do about it? And this year, he's not posting on Twitter that much. He's going to all these independent throwing guys. I think he grew up in a way that franchise quarterbacks got to throw up. Like, it's not fair. You're 23. You got to be 40. Put Instagram down. All of that stuff. And I think he's like, okay, I got it. I'm betting on Trey. But I think last year he was a small town kid from North Dakota or wherever, 22. Came out here and, man, girls were loving him. And he's like, man, I can't get out of Instagram. What do I do? And now I think he's like, okay, I'm focused. I can't prove it. I just think he's so much more focused this year. And I think it means something, man. It's tough enough to be a quarterback. You can't have any distractions. It's tough enough. And I think he gets it. I think
the keys were handed to him too early as far as the anointment? And the reason why I asked that question,
I wouldn't say that. I don't know that.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is there is a point that you were talking about his demeanor in the locker room, where it's like it was Trey's locker room first. He was kind of very outgoing, acting a lot different than his.
He was trying to take ownership of it, and the guys like him very much. But what you notice is that like Kittle's not taking part. Like the older guys aren't necessarily fraternizing with him. It's more like the guys who are stationed around Trey, and the guys who are young like him as well. But again, I guess I'm saying I think it's clear that there's a different Trey, a more grizzled, a more grounded in reality. I think Trey came out here and was like, man, life is great. I just, my dreams have come true. I was the 3rd pick in the draft. They're going to give me this team. The team's great. I'm young. I got time. Like, nope. No. It goes fast. And so you need to put your best foot forward right now. And I think he's been doing that all offseason. I don't think he did it last offseason. I don't think he did. I think he had to learn. I think Brock did. I think Brock had his head down. He didn't. He wasn't promised anything. He was just grinding and hoping he'd get an opportunity. Now that's Trey's position. Now that's the position Trey's in, and I think it's going to bring the best out of him, man. I do. I think he understands, like, this is the best opportunity I'm ever going to get on the 49ers. It's this close to getting taken away from me. I'm better than Brock. I'm going to show it. I think that's the best place for him to be.
Do you think the locker room is still split from what you've seen?
Jimmy's gone. I think they just want one guy to be good and healthy. I think that's all they want. If it's Sam Darnold, great. If it's Brock, great. If it's Trey, great. I don't think they care. I think there's a little trepidation in the locker room. Like, we don't have Jimmy anymore. What's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, Jimmy's the safety net. At least we know with Jimmy, we're like 11 wins in the playoffs. And then when we don't make the Super Bowl, we can blame him. But, like, at least we feel good about ourselves.
I feel the locker room is still a little bit split. And this is the reason why. It's just my opinion.
All right. Then I got to take another call. But this is your last take.
I got you. Last one.
All right.
So,
yeah.
If you look at the games with Trey, it seems like it was so much easier on Deebo Samuel. A lot of long runs. He had that one fumble in the red zone against Chicago, but still a lot of long runs. Brandon Ayuk's game is easier. And then Kittle, who was almost forgotten about, who you written off, we kind of started writing him off thinking he was too old. Explodes.
True.
Purdy, and then it's like, oh, this is the guy we've been missing. And Kittle was like, hey, I've been the same guy. I just needed somebody to get me the damn ball.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, for years I was thinking, like, why doesn't Kyle call Kittle's number in the end zone? Like, I never understood having a dominant tight end and not going into him in the end zone. Like, that's what the tight end is literally there for on every team. And Kyle, I don't know if he thinks it's too obvious or he wants it's too, I don't know. But I think maybe it's a Jimmy thing. Maybe Jimmy just didn't feel comfortable throwing those tight windows, giving Kittle an opportunity to just make contested catches. And Purdy's like, dude, you're the best tight end. I feel like Mullins did the same thing. Kittle's best year was with Mullins. And Mullins was like, look, I don't know why I'm on the field, but you're really good, and I'm throwing it to you over and over and over again. You're going to make me look good. I feel like Purdy figured that out. You don't have to be a freaking genius to figure that out. I don't know why Jimmy always tried to overcomplicate it. Anyway, voice agency, it's great to see you, man.
All right, last thing, too. Jacksonville, right?
Jacksonville.
All right.
Jacksonville. All right, man. Later. Papa Dragon, always bringing. Oh, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
What you eating?
What's up?
What's up? Okay.
All right, man. Let's continue the conversation. Let's keep it rolling. I've been on the bus that basically says that saying the 49ers are gonna get to the Super Bowl and win it without a true franchise quarterback in place is just, in my opinion, fantasy. A lot of things have to go right.
Or an above-average offensive line.
Exactly. So I remember when the offseason started, I stated on one of the online shows that I didn't expect the 49ers to do a whole lot. I like to see them go after offensive line. And you know what they did? They showed me who they were. They went and spent $80 million on a defensive tackle. So this team makes very expensive mistakes.
Yeah.
When they make these mistakes, they have to try to cover that mistake up with even more money.
Oh, it's true. So the first expensive mistake was not paying DeForest Buckner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over like $1 million or $2 million. That's just foolish.
Right. So he continues to be an Iron Man while Eric Armstead has plantar fascia. And then you got Javon Kinlaw, who's got a knee. And now you got that's two guys who have injuries. And you could have just had Buckner, who doesn't.
So you got high salary guys that don't even make Pro Bowl. They don't make Pro Bowl. And I want to make clear one more thing. Someone said Pro Bowls don't matter. In the current format, they matter less. But the overall situation is that if you're one of those top players picked, right, that means that in the league, your peers are saying that you're the best at your position. So to me, the Pro Bowl does matter. So for you to get an $80 million defensive tackle and not go after a quarterback who's been in a Pro Bowl, if the quarterback is your position of issue, to me, all revolves around the ego of our beloved Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle, our favorite Kyle.
Kyle is still on that notion that, hey, it doesn't matter who I got under center. The quarterback is me. The quarterback's brain is Kyle Shanahan.
That's what he said. It's not set in stone. He's like basically saying, I don't freaking care, man. Someone will play, he'll get hurt. Someone else will play, he'll get hurt. I'll be the star. They'll put up good numbers, but it won't mean they're good. All that.
I mean, how many first round linemen have they drafted in 7 years?
What?
How many quarterbacks have played an entire season in 7 years? Just one guy, and that was Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And this was a guy.
So you're not really serious about those positions.
He's not. He's not.
Nah.
I mean, this is what happens. There's 2 seasons. There's a regular season, and then there's the postseason. And there's no quarterback in the world that's a bigger example of that than Troy Aikman, who seemed like he put up modest numbers in a regular season. 20, 22 touchdowns, 23 touchdowns, whatever. And then in the playoff, 5 touchdown game, 4 touchdown game, 5 touchdown game. Quarterbacks matter in the playoffs. They matter.
Why do we have to say? Isn't it crazy that we have to explain that to Kyle Shanahan? I mean, everyone it says that he's like the four. He's like the genius, at the forefront of offensive football. But the underlying logic theory of his genius is that quarterbacks and offensive lines don't matter. Spend your money on defense and weapons, like D-line and running backs and tight ends and wide receivers. That's what you spend on. Like, I disagree. Hold on, I disagree.
Psychologically, there's so many things wrong with the picture of Kyle Shanahan. You reward a player who came off a great year, but you have contract issues with. The player demands for a trade. You sign him to this amazing deal. He shows up out of shape, plays like crap. But guess who's in the doghouse? Guess who's not invited to Cabo?
Yeah,
Ayuk.
Yeah,
that's
right.
He
didn't block extremely hard one time. You don't get any more targets today. Meanwhile, Debo's 10 pounds overweight, not jogging through his routes when he doesn't get the ball, and they're like, "Oh, that Debo, man, he's just on a
play that Trey Lance was injured on." Again, there was a lot of really, really just mediocre play from the offensive line. How they reacted, nobody got to their blocks on time. Trey gung ho like he is, and again, Trey has to change his instincts, because sometimes I think he's out there. He thinks this is North Dakota State, where he's the biggest and fastest guy on the field. He's just going to run through people.
And he can kind of chill in like 3rd, 4th gear. It's like, dude, run hard. Yeah.
I hope he learned his lesson. Now, again, Trey, Trey, I'm really hoping the best for you, brother. I really am. I hope that you do well this year. I hope you have a great career. But, when he blocked me on Twitter, it was because I told him this, Trey. I said, Trey, you should really stay off of,
Instagram.
Social media. Because no matter what you say or what you do, people are going to twist your words into the negative and pull you right down with them. You know what he did? Blocked me, which is cool. I'm okay with that. But the reality is,
you're right, though. Right. You're right, though. Right. You're right. Yeah.
Right.
And you know who's not all over social media? Brock.
Yeah. I love everything about Brock except for his size and his arm.
Yeah.
And now his arm is damaged. I think that Brock has the potential to be the best backup quarterback in the league. But I find it, I just don't see him, going down the field with 13 seconds to go for touchdowns like Josh Allen.
Here's the thing that Trey needs to know. And you and I can speak from experience because we're so young, rich, and famous and handsome. But when you're young, rich, and famous and handsome, and you're on Instagram posting all the time, like, there's going to be, you're going to get the attention you want. And if that's we talk about distractions. I don't talk about like girls as distractions and stuff, but like,
no, I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying.
It's all distractions.
It's all distractions. Like, what are you focusing? Like, they're giving the team to you, and like, what are you doing, man? Like, so I don't think he's doing that anymore. I think his head's locked in. I think Trey is locked in.
This is what I've heard from the people I know in the industry. I don't have sources. I have friends. I have friends who are agents and our coaches. And I'll even paraphrase from a recent interview that was some Dallas Cowboys content creators, and they had a player there that saw Trey Lance practicing with his new quarterback coach, and he went out of his way to praise Trey Lance at the interview. No one asked him about Trey. He just said, "You know what?" He goes, "You guys watch out for that Trey Lance." That kind of stuff right now is what's circulating through the league, and these guys all talk, and they all know. So that's one of the reasons why you're starting to see things kind of switch up a little bit, is because that's the stuff that's going around right now. The locker room talk outside the locker room amongst all the players. Everyone's hearing about all the improvements that Trey's making, the stuff he's learning from Patrick Mahomes, They're hearing all these things because there's a video just the other day. I saw Trey throwing some passes yesterday. And I'm like, Brock can't make that throw. He can't make that throw either. He can't make that throw. It's one of those things where he has all this talent. He has no experience, and he has a coach that won't get behind him. What is his chance of success? If your coach won't go there and say, no, this is my guy. This is it. Sorry, you guys can be mad if you want.
I got to take the next call, but I want to come back to the social media thing. And I don't want to get on Trey because I don't know. It's just the vibe he was getting off. I feel like you spend your whole life playing football at North Dakota State. You think you want to be a great football player. Then you get the 3rd pick in the draft. You get like the signing bonus, and you're a really good-looking guy, and you're all over Instagram, and you're getting attention in a whole different way. And now you have a conundrum. It's like, do I really want to be a franchise quarterback, or do I want to be a playboy? Like, do I freaking love this lifestyle? Do I want to be rich, famous, and just because I mean, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Yeah.
The other part that he has to deal with in this country, being a multicultural person, a person of multiple cultures, is the fact that people will try to pull you into their camps, and they don't even know who you are as a person. Trey has to understand who he is, be himself, work hard and play hard, and more importantly, Trey, take care of yourself, man. Don't. If Kyle's gonna call a quarterback power, you see someone coming, slide for a 1-yard loss or slide for a 1-yard gain. He'll stop.
All right, Papa.
But make some decisions.
It's time because they're not gonna do it for you, man. Good to see you, Papa. All right, man. Later. Luis. Well, hey, are you driving? You're driving. All right, you got to pull over and then we'll talk. 49er-ish fan, what's up?
What's up? Good to see you.
How you doing?
Love the show and everything. So I have one point I want to make.
Okay,
I've been trying to get on the show for a while. So I was thinking, I was like, why does Brock Purdy, it seems like his opinion about when he's coming back is so starkly different from what the 49ers want. And I've been trying to understand it for a while. And I was like, what is the best situation for Brock Purdy? And I thought about it and I was like, the best situation for Brock Purdy is he doesn't play and Trey turns into a Pro Bowl quarterback. Hold on, let me explain. So if Trey turns into a Pro Bowl quarterback, and you said this on one of your shows, I was mad because I was trying to call it and say this and had this point in my mind for a while. So if Trey turns into a Pro Bowl quarterback, all Brock Purdy has to do is have one showcase game, maybe like the last week of the season versus a terrible team that's not going to make the playoffs or something like that, and have like a Matt Flynn game, throw 6 touchdowns, 350 yards, whatever, maybe running for a score. And then he said some team is going to go after that. Some team is going to say, hey, we need to give you millions of dollars. We need to give you at least like Jimmy Plus contract or something.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I don't really see like any possibility for, like him trying to contest with Trey is just going to be like a bad situation for him in general, because it's just going to like, even if Trey actually has a good season and then Brock doesn't have as good as a season because he's coming off injury or whatever situation may happen, then he's going to be looked at in a bad light. And so if you have like this contentious all season with Trey or Brock, Trey or Brock or even Sam Darnold, then like somebody's going to look bad out of that. And 2 out of 3 quarterbacks are probably going to look bad out of that. 2 out of 3 of them are going to look like backup quarterbacks eventually. So why not sit out? It doesn't make any sense.
Good point. That's true. Like, instead of actually competing with them, let them just lose the competition.
Yeah, just let them lose.
If you think about it too, like, there was a quarterback competition in OTAs and minicamp, and I was there for 6 days. The media was there for 6 days, and there was like, it was very inconclusive who won. And so the reports we got after that was, Brock's looking great. Brock, have we talked? You haven't seen Brock, but we saw Brock, and he looks great. It's like, that's not... Doesn't bode well for Trey and Sam. But again, it's just practice, and the Niners don't really have any idea what they're looking at when they look at quarterbacks in practice. Otherwise, Brock would have started last year or something earlier. Yeah.
Do you see any? I know that like the last report I heard about Brock was he was throwing just like soft things, but he had like, or he's throwing a football. Have you heard any updates since then?
They keep update every couple of weeks. They say, so far so good. I don't think he's like doing full strength stuff yet, but no setbacks yet. Good. Knock on wood.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate it.
Yep.
I've been trying to go forever. I have to let you know I do appreciate the show. I hated you for a little bit, not because of your takes, but because I think I put in a super chat. We were talking with Fish one day, and my comment got skipped over, and I was like, Forget this guy.
You just stole my money, man. I owe you $10. I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Later. All right. I'm gonna jump someone to the front of the line because his name is intriguing. Joe Latu.
What up?
What's up? Are you related to Cam Latu or no?
No, it's just a comment.
Nah. I was like, is this Cam's brother trying to chew me out? Like, I've said nice things about Cam. Hold on.
No, I get that all the time in the comments whenever I'm on YouTube or whatever. But I just think but thanks for having me on. And
sure.
I think it's just funny that, or it's not funny really, but it's the same thing every offseason. Questions at the quarterback position.
It's the same stupid conversation every year.
I mean,
every
at
day.
the end of the day, they're still trying to move on from Jimmy. At the end of the day, they're still trying to move on from Jimmy. Yeah. Even when Jimmy was on the roster, they couldn't get rid of him. As much as they felt like they were held back and they needed to upgrade, they wanted their cake and they wanted to eat at the same time.
Why can't they move on from Jimmy? Psychology here. What is it about Jimmy? Well, it's like they want to move on, but they are deeply insecure. And as soon as he's gone, they're like, wait, who's going to like me? I can't get another quarterback. I don't know what it is. I feel like Jimmy makes them feel safe and secure in themselves. Like at least Jimmy's here. I don't know.
Right. I think they just dropped the ball. I mean, when you spend that much on a quarterback, I mean, you're committed, whether you like it or not. And they obviously weren't committed to that. I mean, I know the injuries have affected that a great amount, but at the end of the day, you spent that much and you committed that much to a single player. You've got to see that through. And I know a lot of content creators here on YouTube, a lot of them, that's basically what's echoed around the situation is they're not committed to it at all.
I just can't see the Niners not playing Trey this year. Like they have to make up their mind about the 5th-year option at the end of the year. They're really not going to play him at all. I just feel like he's going to play at some point. If not,
I mean, right now it's a tryout situation. I mean, if Brock's not ready to go and Brock's going to need time, a lot of people don't think about it, but he's going to need time to ramp up to get ready to play full contact and full go.
Because Jimmy got forced into action week 2 last year, and then we were talking to him after week 2, week 3, week 4, he's struggling, and you're like, "Do you feel full strength yet?" And he was like, "Honestly, no." And he had his procedure in February or something like that, before Brock. So I think it's possible that Brock could be fully cleared, but if he were playing and you asked him, "Do you feel full strength?" He'd say, "Honestly, no, not yet."
Right.
I think that's.
No, he's an honest kid.
So what do you do? Do you play him at 80%? While Trey Lance has been there every step of the way on your team for 3 years, and he's made strides and he feels full strength. Like, what do you do? I would go Trey.
I look not to go back, but I look at the names that were floating around before they traded up to 3, and those were some established names they were throwing out. They had Brady, the Brady rumors. They had the Matt Stafford rumors, Deshaun Watson. I mean, I believe it, that they shopped it to Green Bay, whether they wanted that number 3 overall pick for A-Rod.
Right. Yep.
So to say that they only wanted the rookie contract is kind of false.
Disingenuous.
They wanted an upgrade. They definitely wanted an upgrade, and they definitely wanted experience to go along with it.
And now they're pivoting to, okay, well, we may not have an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo, but we have Jimmy for cheap. We have young Jimmy for minimum wage. Like, okay, but that's a different thing now.
Right.
I
think at the end of the day, if they don't get it done, you'll have tons of content next year to talk about the quarterback position. Because
and at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to get it done because of the quarterback position, the offensive line spot, and then next year we're going to have to talk about Kirk Cousins. Oh,
exactly.
Can't wait.
That's the one name that's going to be brought up if they don't win it at all this year. If they don't win it this year, and Brock plays good or Trey plays good, they can move off these guys, or at least have Brock be a backup and move off of Trey and get Kirk Cousins or somebody easily. That's what they have.
I'd like to see how Niner fans react to Kyle if he brings in Kirk Cousins at 36 years old. Like, I don't know. I think Niner fans were excited about Kyle drafting a quarterback and molding him, but Kirk Cousins, everyone knows who Kirk Cousins is. I don't know. You might lose some support.
A lot of people look down on the rumors about Matt Stafford last offseason. A lot of people were down on that. Oh, he's a loser. Oh, what has he done in Detroit? What playoff success does he have? And then he turned around and
true. Joe, I got to take some more calls, man, but it was good to see you. I'm just going to pretend you're related to Cam. I was scared for a second, man. I was like, I thought this guy's going to chew me out. Good to see you, man. Peace. All right. East Coast Niner, parked. And then I got you next, Luis, because you're parked too. What's up?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right.
That sounds like a B minus, C plus. I'm all right, man.
Well, nah, you know what it is.
I want to get into it, but
I'm getting ready to go on vacation, and I had to work today, which was kind of unexpected, but whatever. It's all good.
Where are you going?
Up to Maine.
Maine?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm going on a. It's actually the oldest wooden vessel still in operation. Going on a 4-day sailing venture off the coast of Maine, man.
Be careful.
Why do you say that?
Sounds the oldest wooden vessel. Like, fuck that. I would never do that shit. You kidding?
Yeah, man. It's terrifying. It's one of those things you look back on life and say, yeah, I did that.
All right. Oh, what's on your mind?
I was thinking about this yesterday, and it kind of plays into the title of the show today. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, you know what? I don't know if we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, but we're going to win one. And specifically, Kyle Shanahan is going to win one. My hope is that he's on this team when it happens. We kind of had this conversation before. He's kind of going through his Andy Reid thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I was just running the tape back. The reasons why he's lost his 2 Super Bowls had nothing to do with the quarterback. Absolutely nothing to do. The first one, he completely melted down and stop calling plays. When we went to the last Super Bowl, he stopped running the ball.
Yeah, and with the lead.
Yeah. And so
a 25-point lead, the first one, 10-point lead, the second one.
What I can't stand is how the guy, the honey badger, he actually came out. He is quoted by saying, "I'm so glad Kyle Shanahan stopped running the ball. We couldn't
running
stop
the ball. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Couldn't stop it. Yeah.
So my thing is like, Kyle is due. He's gonna get his win. I can't answer that question, but it doesn't have anything to do with the quarterback. Why it doesn't matter? Because that's how Kyle's scheme is. It really doesn't matter. And even though I'm Team Trey, I can honestly say it wouldn't bother me if Brock Purdy were the one that won us a Super Bowl. I just want Trey to get his due because I think that he's justified and I think he has a skill set that he can be our franchise quarterback to come. However, whoever gets it done is whoever gets it done. And Kyle, dog-minded as he is, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna work out. Now, like I said, I don't know when. The other thing about the way that they formulated this team and the way that we carry our team, why do we place so much emphasis on the defensive line as opposed to the offensive line? Well, think about who our general manager is, okay? The Super Bowl that he won, that was one of the most historic defenses in the entire freaking history of the NFL.
Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp, Booger McFarland. I can still remember him. Yeah.
And the offense was just good enough to win them games. So when you got a head coach where his whole mindset is, I got a system that's built for us to win games, and then you got a general manager who will help you build a team that says, just score points and my defense will take care of the rest. That's why we're at where we're at. And honestly,
also, when the head coach thinks the offensive coach thinks he's the star of the offense, he can always say, I can scheme around that. I can scheme around this quarterback. I can scheme around this. But if you're that good, then how come you need the best running back, the best tight end, the best wide receiver, 2 of the best wide receivers? Like, how come you can't scheme around? Andy Reid can scheme around young, inexperienced weapons, but Kyle needs the best ones in the league. I don't understand that part. But
the reason is because the title that Shanahan gets is often misconstrued in the incorrect one. We should call him a great play designer. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. He's not a great head coach. Okay. He has often problems with his most problematic players. As a matter of fact, Cohn, not Papa Cohn, whatever the guy's name, just was telling you about the debacle of Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Papa Dragon.
Yeah. So, you know, the problem is with Kyle and the GM. And honestly, if you run the tape back, it's really not a problem. The meltdown is in the psyche during those games. But the system works. Honestly, everybody knows the numbers. We're always at the NFC conference game and always got an offense that can get us points, and Jimmy's this, and really it has nothing to do with Jimmy, because Jimmy was the same person that Nick Mullins was, who was the same person that. Go ahead.
I got something for you. I feel like this is the essential question you have to ask the 49ers and any football team. Do you want your quarterback to be the hero or the scapegoat? And on the Niners, they do not want him to be the hero. When they win games, who gets credit? Kyle. Kittle, the defense, the weapons. When they lose, who's blamed? Every time. Quarterback. That's how it is here. That's how it's always going to be here. That's how Kyle wants it. Because I think as a survivalist, the Shanahans feel the person who's going to get you fired as a coach is the quarterback. So do not build him up like that. In fact, use him as the scapegoat. Make it clear he's not that good. And any success he has is because you're building him up. And any failures you have is because he's not that good. They've been doing this for decades. Meanwhile, Andy Reid empowers his quarterback. You're the star. I'm not the star, man. I'm just an overweight guy who, makes fun of himself. You're the freaking star, and I'm going to protect you with the best offensive line I can give you. That's the difference. That's the difference.
But now you're talking about an outstanding NFL head coach versus one of the best play schemers in all of NFL history. Again, not the same thing. And
Kyle's competing with his quarterback. Competing with his quarterback at all times. He is. That's a self-defeating mindset for a head coach.
Which is why Tom Brady never could have been here. Aaron Rodgers never could have been here. Ever. It was never going to happen.
It's almost like Kyle was like, look, Jimmy, I'm not going to let you become a Super Bowl champion handing the ball off. I let you do it in the division round, in the championship round. You're an NFC champion throwing 6 passes. I'm not going to let you do that in the Super Bowl. If you want to be a Super Bowl champion, you got to throw the ball in the fourth quarter. It's almost like Kyle did that. I'm not going to give you a free ride to Canton. Sorry, buddy. You got to throw. It's like, okay, cool. You just lost.
Yeah.
You just lost.
And
same with you, Matt Ryan.
And we know that there were rumblings and misgivings. They didn't necessarily get along with each other. So it could have very well been that he said, I need you to do something and hold your part of this team, or I got to get rid of you. And honestly, that's not the worst thing, because we've all agreed that he needed to go. He did not do enough. He was not the one that he's not the reason why we don't have a 6th Super Bowl ring, but he certainly is the reason why we can't get ahead. Not the only reason, but certainly one of them. Certainly one of them. Which is why Trey got drafted. Hate it or love it, there was an obvious stance in that we need something better than Jimmy.
Right, and now that they're pivoting to Brock, it's fair to say, like, wait a second, I thought you said you needed something better than Jimmy, and like maybe Brock's better than Jimmy in certain ways, but like
I think Brock
marginally. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Listen,
Jimmy put up 23 points against Dallas on the road. Brock put up 19 points against Dallas at home. I will see with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
It's early.
Just getting ready to talk about Moxie and 30 points a game, but
no, you're right. But man, I got to take more calls. It's good to see you.
Always good to see you, man.
Enjoy yourself in Maine. Be safe on that vessel, man. I don't trust it between us.
Hey, man, I will send you some footage.
Please do. Great to see you.
All right, man.
Luis, are you pulled over? Look at me. Are you pulled over? You ready? I feel like you keep pulling over, and then you think I'm not going to call on you, and then you're like, I'm driving again. No, look, I see your face. You're driving. I can't. Nah, I'll get you later. Chris, what's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, man? Good to see you. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I know, man. I got a lot to tell you, man.
All right, I'll just shut up. You go for it, baby.
Well, some of the things I had to write a little bit of it down, but man, why the Niners not standing on the quarterback? I mean, you got to really understand one thing, and this is what it is. All of us have little flaws on our job, right? There are some things that we do extremely well, and there are some things that we don't do so well, right?
Yeah.
So if that is the case, what is Kyle's biggest flaw? He can't develop a quarterback. He can't do it.
No. It's a big flaw.
Yeah.
That's a huge flaw.
Yeah. But
like there are defensive coaches who can do a better job at developing a quarterback than him. Like look at Pete freaking Carroll.
Yeah.
He just had Geno Smith there and said, "You're good, you're good, you're good," and Geno believed it. And Kyle's over there being like, "Dude, you're not that good. You're not that. Don't even think that you're that good because it's me and Kittle
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's not you. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Don't ever think it's you, dude, because it's not.
Yeah, and so that's why he didn't draft Mahomes, didn't draft Watson, because he knew he couldn't develop them. He knew this. And so he did the one thing he knew how to do was to build a team. And you can't really fault him for that. Although, in my job, there's some things that I don't do so well, but I strive to be better. But that's his biggest flaw. And we're seeing it play out. Now, he's doing the best he can without a franchise quarterback.
Hold on, no. Here's the thing with Kyle. Like, we know his flaws, and we say he's young, and he'll learn, and he'll change. My problem with Kyle is that I feel like he's so stubborn. He doesn't think he has a flaw. He would disagree that he can't develop quarterbacks. They've just gotten hurt. There's been bad luck. Trey could still be good. What about Brock Purdy? Like, he's always so defensive, where I think other coaches who are just as smart as him might be a little bit more honest and self-reflective, and that's a good quality, especially if you haven't won it all yet. You know what I mean? There might be just one little thing you could tweak to get over the hump, and Kyle's like, I don't have to do that. It's okay. We'll see.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem for me as a 49er fan, because like the last caller said, Kyle Shanahan, he's going to win a Super Bowl. He's going to win one because the NFC is just so weak. If he had a franchise quarterback, I mean, just look at the NFC. There are no quarterbacks really in the NFC. There aren't. And essentially, he'll only have to really win one game, and that would be the Super Bowl, which will give the defense time. And when he wins, if you think Kyle Shanahan is arrogant now, what do you think he's going to be like with the ring on his finger?
I wouldn't assume that he's getting.
He's going to be.
I wouldn't assume that. We'll see about that. I don't know. I don't know.
He almost won it with Jimmy. I mean, I think he'll win one. And then when he does, how much longer do you think he's going to be here? What do you think his attitude is going to be like at that point?
I mean, if he ever won a Super Bowl, Jed would give him a lifetime contract. And I think he likes coaching here because he has no oversight. No one ever tells him what to do. He's the king of the organization. It's the San Francisco Kyle Shanahan's. Yeah. Sponsored by the 49ers.
Exactly my point.
That's what they are.
It's going to be scary with all the control. I mean, you heard, I saw the conversation that you guys had after dark and with Mike McDaniel. What's the other offense coordinator?
McDaniel.
Yeah, that is frightening. That is frightening.
Feels like McDaniel agrees with how I feel about Kyle Shanahan. It seems like McDaniel sees Kyle the way I see Kyle, which is a guy who's been promoted because he's Mike Shanahan's son, and he's probably taken a lot of credit for a lot of people's work on group projects, and he is gifted, but he's also very egotistical. And when Mike McDaniel said that, like, essentially Kyle didn't want Vic Fangio because he doesn't want someone on the coaching staff who might know more about football than him, like, that's damning. And you know what? I believe it. I don't think Kyle wants anyone who can actually talk to him in a meeting like, look, dude, I've been doing this since you were in freaking high school. Like, I don't think Kyle wants anyone like that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I remember the story. I think it was the one that your dad told when Mike Holmgren went up to George Seifert and gave him the game plan. And Seifert's like, oh, I can beat that. Do it again.
Yep.
He doesn't have anybody like that. Because I guarantee you, if somebody would have came up to him and said, if somebody would have went up to him and said, yeah, we're going to have Croft block this defensive end on the first play.
Oh my God, Vic Fangio would have said something.
Would have said no, but he
That's
thought
stupid.
it was okay. It's his scheme, So I mean,
and I get is D'Amico, like, does he have enough standing to say, Kyle, that's a stupid play, or is he just saying, like, Kyle, thanks for making me the defensive coordinator. I'm gonna be out of here in a week. I'm going to Houston. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't know. Like, Vic Fangio wouldn't give a damn. Steve Wilkes might be in that position, like, hey, man, thanks for picking me. I'm just trying to get a head coaching job. I'm not trying to rock the boat. Like, I want you to give me a good recommendation. I'm out in 2 years. Vic Fangio's not thinking that way. He's like, I'm the best defensive coach in the league. And if you bring some humpy bumpy up in this game plan, I'm going to tell you about it. I wish.
Yeah.
And I like that Mike McDaniel's like, I want a coach like that on my staff. And Kyle's like,
that's growth. That is growth. But I got one more comment to make.
All right, then you got to go.
I'm actually gonna let you choose it.
All right.
I got 3 little papers here. It's got 1, 2, 3. You can pick any one you want.
3.
3? Let me see what we got. All right.
No, 1.
You sure?
1. Lead off. I was a leadoff hitter. 1.
You sure?
I wasn't batting 3. Yeah, I won.
3
I won 1. I changed my mind.
3 is a good time.
No, okay, 3. I got. You said it was a good one.
All right, 3. It's all about you, baby. It's all about
you. No matter where I go, I see the same people. Sorry, what?
No problem. This is the thing, man. You do such an excellent job in your coverage, and the one thing is, I remember when I first got on here, and you were doing so well, and I just kept plugging in, and you gave me topics and stuff like that. So my thing is that for all you Cohn fans, if you are truly a fan, if you can, give your best take that he's ever done. And for me, the best take that you've ever done, the best one, and I watched this thing maybe like 3 or 4 in a row, was when you did the Deshaun Watson breakdown after everything had happened. It almost seems like that thing has been wiped underneath.
So long ago. Yeah.
But it just, he had all those cases, and it's almost as if it didn't even exist. But when it first broke, I watched your take on it, and it was so insightful.
Can you remind me what I said? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I remember it, man. You were talking, the Texas may have known. If they didn't know, if they did, they can't allow to own the team. All of these. It was really, really insightful. And I watched it when it came out. I watched it like maybe 2 or 3 times, like back to back to back. And your insight, the way you had thought it out. I don't know if you're shooting off the hip or what, but it was a really, really great take. And I was just watching, and I was like, man, this guy, he is on another plane,
Thank you, Chris.
So I would just say to myself, hopefully when I do get on here, I'll be able to get him something that I'm going to let him choose one of the topics. So now you picked, which one was it? 1? So
3.
We got 2 more. So the next time I come in, we'll chat a little bit, then I'll let you get the last one. But I just want to say, for all you Cohn fans, if you really love him, tell the man his best take. Let him know that his work is good. And that was my favorite one of all time. I can't find it anymore because you got so many. Shows how hard work you do.
I appreciate it.
It was so long ago, but perfect take, man. I really appreciated that insight. It was very, very good. I learned a lot watching that.
Thank you, Chris. Have a good one, man. It's great to see you always.
All right. Take care.
All right. I got to get Luis on the show, man. He's been chilling.
What's up, my guy? How you doing?
What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I was just
that's a really awkward pose, though. You could close the door now and just give me. I don't need to see your laugh.
I just need to make sure you see that I'm actually parked.
No, I feel you. What's up?
Nothing, man. Just here getting ready for a little workout. I'm here at the gym.
Okay.
I was just trying to find a little shade. It's a little hot in the Bay Area this week, so
yeah.
But yeah, thankfully, man, I had the day off today. I'm actually able to come on right now. How you doing today?
Man, I'm chilling. You're making me nervous with this walk around, but I trust you. Where you going?
I'm
going to the gym?
Yeah. 24-hour fitness.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2-4. I'm
24 hours.
Yeah.
So
New Park Mall.
Yeah.
New Park Mall here.
So many times I wake up at 3:30 in the morning being like, I need to work out. Where? Like you can't.
Yeah, man. I saw you doing those pull-ups, man. You got to keep doing it. What are you doing?
Yeah, I took a few days off. I'm back today, baby. All right, what are we talking about? We got people online.
You got to keep going. But hey, man, I wanted to holler at you real quick, man. So
holler at me.
What's going on with this team, man? I know that I don't know. Have you been able to report to the rookie training camp this week?
Nah, man, they didn't invite me for that. They don't invite the press for that.
Oh man, you know what? I think they just said Greg's too cool. We're not gonna invite him.
Yeah, don't tell him.
Hey, but no, man, I'm really looking forward to, man. I tried buying tickets for the training camp, but unfortunately, I couldn't get it because it got sold out so quick. But I wanted to take my daughters because, you know, I got a whole tribe now. So I wanted to try to take my daughters for their first time and get them to see how it actually is. But fortunately, I can't do that this year, so I'll have to do it next year. But
sorry about that.
I wanted to know, what are your takes, and what are you interested in looking for on your first day of training camp when you go in?
Okay, that's a good question. First day of training camp, they won't have pads on. So I'm waiting for that first day of pads because that's when training camp starts. First few days is like mini camp. Without pads, like the linemen don't do anything. And I like watching the linemen because anyone can watch the quarterbacks and chart their throws or check the wide receivers and see who wins. That's kind of easy. And it's important. Luis, where'd you go? No. He got a phone call.
No. I'm just putting on my earphones.
Okay. What I was going to say is I like watching the one-on-ones for the O-line, D-line, and I want to see Colton McKivitz against Drake Jackson. That matchup, it's going to be all day, every day. I want to see it. Can't wait.
I would like to see. I would like to see Javon Hargrave versus
Banks
versus our center.
Banks
or Banks too. Yeah,
Banks.
That'd been nice.
I want to see that. I think Hargrave's going to whoop that ass. Sorry, Banks. It's tough.
No, I believe everybody's going to be successful in this team. I really have a good feeling about this team this year, Grant. I just don't ask me why, but I just have a good feeling. I mean, man, I remember back in the day, I first, you know, it's crazy, man. My dad, how I actually started liking football was my dad was outside. I started playing the football with him, and then like my grandma was like, "Hey, the game is on." So I'm like, I forgot how old I was. I think I was like 2. I'm not even 2. I was just playing catch. I could barely throw. But I remember my dad was just like, hey, like he grabbed me and we just started running inside. And ever since then, I've always been a Niner fan. Always, every game. I've never really missed a game since I was young. Even like how bad we were back when Kyle Williams was on the team and the whole fumble versus the Giants, man, that was horrible. But I'm just getting to the conclusion saying, like, that's how long I've been a fan and how long I really love this team. But what I would really like to see from this team this year is just choose the quarterback. And I believe that Trey Lance has so much potential, Grant, it's ridiculous. I do not know why people really think that Brock Purdy, I mean, yes, he has been successful, and I wish it would have been cool to try to see him do it a little bit more. But Trey Lance has ceilings that are unreachable. And he could be so successful with this Kyle Shanahan scheme and team. It's just the thing that sucks about it is that this organization can't choose a quarterback that they want right now, which is crazy to me. It's like Trey Lance is like that worker, that coworker that you see where you just see people get complacent and you see him like the only one trying to get like a reward or like how do you say like work wise is trying to get like a pay raise and recognize, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I feel you, man.
Just with that being said, man, like Trey going to Jeff Christensen, Patrick Mahomes as quarterback coach is such a big blessing for him. You know why? Because Patrick Mahomes is already like he's already in the Tom Brady. He's getting there. He's gonna be in that Tom Brady talk soon. And the fact that Trey went to his quarterback coach is mind blowing. And the fact that that this organization can't know that this guy is like really trying to be like the great quarterback is very funny. It's very funny to me because this guy is trying to work his ass off, bro.
Well, they didn't want Mahomes.
No, I'm talking about Trey right now.
No, I'm just saying.
But it's just a fact, bro. Like that, he is trying to put all this hard work in, and he's doing whatever it takes. That this team is like still. I mean, I played football back in high school and everything too.
We know,
and everything is all about coaches and based on who they like and who they really want. And
Luis, I got to take more calls, man. You got to get in the 24-hour fitness. You're at the front door. You got to get in there and get that pump, man. I love you, bud. I got to take more. I got like 8 people waiting, man. Get in there.
Okay, my bad.
Do work.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to call next time.
All right, man. I'll see you later. Luis, it's AT415, man. What's up?
Oh, what's going on, Grant? Been a long time.
It's been a minute. What's up?
Oh man, I seen your boy Flav for the first time on
my boy.
Show.
Hey, wait a second.
When I say yo boy, he was donating money.
He's a boy. He's someone's boy.
What? So my thing I'm tripping on is like, do you really think the people like that believe in Brock, or is it you know the other stuff? You know,
that's a good question. Is he just like the next guy that they would like very much? Because I feel like, let's say Brock comes back this year and takes a step back for whatever reason, and Sam Darnold steps in and plays well for like 3 games. Don't you feel like the Brock Purdy brigade is just gonna go over to Sam Darnold bandwagon,
man, and
real fast?
I do, and then the one thing,
because it's like it's not the Brock Purdy brigade; it's the anyone but Trey Lance team, right?
Man,
yeah.
And the one thing I'm trying to figure out is like, why as 49er fans are we so quick to crown quarterbacks? Like we did it with Cap, we did it with Jimmy, we're doing it with Brock. Like what? Like
desperation.
5 to 8 games will get you
desperation. Think about it as like someone like, you know, like dating. Like you haven't had a date in 20 years, so you're trying to get back out there, and 3 dates go well with one person. You're like, well, that's the one right there. I just had 3 good dates. I can't tell you the last time I had 3 good dates in a row. That's the one. Like,
man, chill. And I'm like, what? When people say Trey can't play, it's like, what did 4 games show you? Mind you, the Cardinals was undefeated at the time he played them. I want to say they started that season 10-2. He was on the road. Yeah. Like, what? You know, the Seahawks was a playoff team that he only lost to playoff teams. And then Chicago in the monsoon. Like, what did he show you that is like, he just can't play? He just can't get like.
Well, the Niners are framing it like it's not that Trey failed. It's that Brock is so special that they don't even care what Trey can do anymore. Like, pardon? Excuse me? I didn't see that. Man. I mean, I like Brock, but he didn't go out there and show that he's Tom Brady.
And then even with Brock, it's like, when you look at it, who did he really play? Miami was going downhill. Tampa was going downhill.
We played Dallas and Philly. That's who we played. And Dallas held him to 19 points, and Philly knocked him out in the first drive. So I feel like there's a little bit. I mean, the NFC's weak, and we know he could play well against a lot of teams. But when it came down to the true contenders,
man,
I think he folded.
And then yeah, like I really don't understand it, man. Like it is beyond me. But
I like your chain though. I want that. I'm trying to get one. I really like it. I feel like I need a chain to complete my look. I feel like I've been looking pretty fly today, but now you're on the screen. I'm a little self-conscious because you look better than me. Anyway, I'm not trying to butter you up like that.
Something light.
You're gonna probably have to like wrap it up soon so I can get back to feeling like the star of the show. Anyway.
Hey, well, I got a question.
Respectfully, what's up?
It's more so it's for you and Papa Cohn, right?
Okay.
I remember he was on, y'all was talking about Kaepernick a while ago. Okay. Said like, you know, divisive and all that. I'm trying to understand, right?
Yeah.
If somebody stands up for, you know, the little social justice stuff,
it's true.
What was the problem with that? Because we're the same society that appraised Muhammad Ali when he was like, it was bigger than boxing and all of that. Why? What was the problem that people see in Cap when he did it?
It's a fair question. This was a long time ago. Let me take you back. I'm not gonna say people's names on the team, but it's different when you're like a boxer and you're not on a team, and when you're a quarterback and you're on a team with all these people. What happened was they won week 1, I believe, 2016. Then they went on to have a 2-14 season. They won week 1, and when the team wins, players get to speak a lot. They get their names in the paper. The players who played well. Kaepernick comes in after that game and wants to talk about the stuff that, you know, the social justice stuff that he's been talking about. And there's a huge swarm of reporters around it. Not his fault, but it's right there in the locker room. And it's all about that. And there's all these players who played well in the game sitting there with no one talking to them. And I know a few of them off the record were like, we played a football game today. Let's go. It's supposed to be about football, at least after the game in the post-game locker room. And some players, not all white guys, were like, wait a second, man. Like, wait, can't this be about football right now? And I think what Kaepernick did that year was make it not about football really at all. And maybe I was wrong about that. I wasn't in the locker room all the time, but I think it was, some of his teammates would have appreciated it if he took that outside, like just out, you know, like in the hallway, or said, look, guys, I know you all came and I will give you time to talk about this, but we just won a football game today. So out of respect to my teammates, I'm going to keep it about football today, but we can do this tomorrow. Something like that. But maybe at the time, if everything felt so bigger than football, maybe that wouldn't have been true to him.
But does it as an athlete, shouldn't you use that platform? Isn't it going to get the most attention for what it wasn't like he was
that's what he was
bad
thinking.
cause.
Yep. It's true. It's a good point. And that's what he was thinking.
I really was just wondering that. Okay, it makes sense now. So it was more.
I mean, you can always look back and be like, that team was 2-14. So that was divisive. It didn't help the team, but it was like, even if he didn't, would they have been a good team? I don't know. Yeah, it just felt like that team was not really much of a team. They lost so many games in a row. The head coach seemed like he was disengaged, and it seemed like the quarterback seemed like he was disengaged from football. That's the way I saw it at the time.
I think they kind of gave up once Harbaugh left. That's when everybody retired, and we knew it was over.
It's true. I think Chip Kelly thought that if they could tank 1 year, that they would fire Balky and not him, and that he could take over the team the way Kyle has control of it. Mm-hmm. And so I just don't think they care. I think that was a tank year in a lot of ways, and I think that's probably why they changed the narrative.
Tried to start playing Gabbert over Cap.
Because you think about it, Kyle started with a tank year too. I'm going to start Brian Hoyer this year. He tanked. Chip Kelly tanked, but he didn't survive it. Why? Maybe it's because of that. I don't know. JT, good question, man. Good to see you.
For sure.
Hope I answered it. All right, man.
Have a good one.
You too. E4 93ers. What's up?
What up? What up, Grant?
What's up? How you doing?
Good, man. Nice to see you again, bro.
East 49ers. I think that's what you're going for there. E49ers.
Yeah.
E49. I get it. Okay, I like it.
Yeah,
What's up, 41?
Yeah. You know, born out here in California. You know, they lived in the Bay most of my life, so
okay.
You know, a little 49ers, a little E40 every now and then.
Super sick with it. Okay.
Yeah. What's up with you though, man? How you been?
Man, pretty good. Training camp about to start. Can't complain. I like training camp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love training camp like the last 3 years, mainly because I've been listening to you for that long and you give a lot of insight. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of family that, you know, they root for other teams. And I feel like when it comes to the Niners, because of your show and a few other people that come on your show, I know a lot more about what's actually going on. And it gives a lot of good insight. That's what
I like to delve into, because what the team shows you at face value is like 3% of what's really going on. And the content creators that take it all at face value, I'm like, what are you, 14? Come on. We all know they're not telling us the real story. So let's try to find it.
Exactly. It's like without you, I feel like I get the same information that all the other fans are getting about their team. We're ready and we're going to win the Super Bowl because we're only going to show you the nice stuff that
everything's going according to plan.
It's like, you said that for years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you were giving information about, I think it was Trey's first year, and it was him and Jimmy going down in training camp. You know, when I was used to listen to the stats that you would talk about, like how many completions they made versus how many throw attempts they had. And I remember listening, and it was like, yo, Trey's going to be the starter. Like, yo, he's going to be the starter. Like, he sounds really good for somebody that hasn't played in the NFL yet. Then it was like, Jimmy's the starter. And it was like, how? I'm so confused.
Yeah. I mean, clearly there was no competition because Jimmy was over there throwing like a pick a day in camp, and the Niners were like,
oh. And is it going to be like that this year too? Because you already see who they said, who basically everybody knows Brock's pretty much got the job. I don't have a problem with it. The only problem I have with it is just let's not carry it out. Let's not carry it out throughout the whole training camp, throughout the whole preseason. Pick who you're going to pick and let's ride. I like Brock. I think
Kyle never do that.
No, he won't do it.
Open.
But he did it for Jimmy. Because about halfway through training camp, they said,
contract sort of forced him to.
We know who the starter is. Remember Jimmy smiling in the interview? Yeah, we know who the starter is. You know, it's like, oh, you're the starter. You got to be. Okay. So if you're going to do it like, if you're going to make Brock the quarterback, do it like that. Like, just tell us out front who's going to be the quarterback. Let's not waste hella time. And you know what I'm saying? As far as Trey, I like Trey. I think the Trey's going to be really good. I really do. But I also don't have a problem with them sitting him and waiting until it's really time. Yeah, you're paying him a lot of money, but pay him a lot of money to really really be able to take over. I understand also he hasn't had a lot of time playing, so people are like, you got to play him. but not necessarily. You don't necessarily have to play him. What you have to do is get him ready so he can be what you paid for.
Yep, I agree. I got to take some more calls, E40, but it's good to meet you. Good to see you. Good to talk to you.
All right.
All right, man. Take care. I'm going to take some super chats real quick. Jay Garza says, when Trey Lance becomes a top 10 quarterback, I will be disgusted by Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch for taking a victory up for their plan. Grant, keep it on them for quarterback mishandling. Yeah, a lot of people say it was just misscouting. No, it was also mishandling. Tommy Huxley proudly announces that he's a virgin. That is good to know and respect, because that's important. Your decision. Josue Torres says, Grant, dame un beso. Does that mean give you a kiss? Not for $2. William Bennett says, what people don't get is we had a rookie owner and a rookie head coach who were trying to figure it out and blame others. It's a good point. Ivan Tina says, everybody waiting on Purdy's return. I'm still waiting on the Niners to get Jalen Hurd back on the field. Any word? He's working out for the Houston Texans. I guess Bobby Slowick's a fan. Sean says, Brock played amazing for any rookie, let alone one picked last, but I hate the idea of trading Trey without knowing his true potential. What should the Niners do? Not trade Trey. Maybe start him this year while Brock is getting ready. That seems to be a fair thing to do. Anakit, thank you for waiting. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good, Grant. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm calling in. I've been watching your show for a while. The start of the show, you mentioned that you haven't heard too many questions, so I made like 3 quick questions for you. I know you've been doing this for a while. Yeah, it's been over an hour. I know you're tired. We'll just get to those 3 questions real quick.
Yeah.
My first question is actually like you were talking to one of the callers earlier, and you mentioned a great point. I'm going to use that point and tie into my first question real quick. You said the Niners have this tendency to make their quarterback either a hero or a scapegoat. Right? Like that was and I'm probably taking this statement out of context because I heard only a part of that conversation, but I'm still going to use it because this is the difference that I feel with Brock Purdy, which is they did give him a lot of credit. If you see some of those speeches that he did after the wins, right? There were a couple of times when he did mention that, this is because of our quarterback. We have to give it to our quarterback and stuff like that.
Right.
And this actually brings me to my question. Now, I was really depressed the year the New England won against Falcons. One of the reasons was because Niners were doing pathetic. But the bigger problem was I was trying to understand over the years, was Matt Ryan known to be a good deep ball thrower? Was he known for that?
I mean, I think I don't know. I want to say yeah. I mean,
here's why.
I want to say yeah.
Yeah, he was better than like Jimmy, but I'll say this.
I mean, yeah.
Right? I'll say this, right? Maybe, and this is my theory right now.
He could get the ball down the field to Julio Jones in his prime. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. But my thought is Kyle has focused a lot on the run game. Maybe what he really wants from a quarterback is to throw a few checkdowns and just do the basic. Yes, Trey is much more, on a talent level, he's far ahead of Brock. But having said that, is it possible that all Kyle wants is, sure, we had drafted Trey because that gives us that threat, but we really want the game to be a lot of checkdowns, which Trey was, as you reported, wasn't the best at in his first year.
Well, I think it's possible he built the team that way because they gave him Jimmy. So he's like, okay, if this is my quarterback, then there's no point in getting a wide receiver who's a deep threat because Jimmy won't even look that way. So I'll just give him yak threats. And now they try to transition to Trey, but those threats don't necessarily fit him as well. So they get him Danny Gray, and Trey gets hurt, and they bring in Brock, and the team fits Brock because he has a very similar, arm talent skill set to Jimmy. Yes.
Right.
He needs yak threats too. Yeah.
Now here's where we are. Like now Trey has improved, right? So my first question, and I know I've taken up 2 minutes already, so I'm going to keep my 2 questions real quick. First one is what you said Trey should be ready, right? But what should he do in the training camp for Kyle to be like, because honestly, like I don't care much about Sam Darnold. I wish him the best, but I want Trey to succeed. What should he do in the training camp on those first 5 days for Kyle to be like, you've done everything that we've asked you to. You're going to get your opportunity this season.
I think it's how he plays the position. I think when they talk about what they liked about Brock, it was all about like, boy, he really commanded the huddle. He had so much poise. They don't really praise anything about how he played. I mean, they don't praise his skill set. They say he needs to improve.
Yeah.
They just liked his command, his maturity, his professionalism. I think that's all stuff that Trey needs to do. Command the huddle. Don't take any shit from players. Tell them to shut up if you need to.
Yeah.
Get the ball out of your hands quickly. Act like you know what you're doing. And I think if he can just hit the short throws, get the ball out of his hands quickly, have a higher completion percentage, like complete more than 60% of your throws in camp and have a few big plays, that'll be enough. Because I don't think that's Sam Darnold. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I think that's what they want to see. And again, what we saw from Trey early in the process this offseason is a guy who is much better at the short throws. Much better.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, that's exactly what they said about Jimmy, right? That he controls the huddle really well and he's a great leader and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, he's got that great voice and who cares? Yeah. But they care about that, I guess.
And my second question, I'm going to switch to the second question real quick. What would you do? Because I saw you speak about Steve Wilks and the possibility of Vic Fangio. What would you, if you were Steve Wilks, right? Here's the pressure on you. I would imagine there's a lot of pressure on you. One, you're going to be in the same shoes as DeMeco was, because DeMeco really
inheriting the best defense in the league. It can't really get better.
So you can't go you can't have sixth best. It has to be the top three, right? Yeah. With all the and DeMeco did that immediately. So he has to do that immediately. And not just that, now there's this additional pressure where it was like, well, we got you. We could have gotten Vic Fangio. We got you because we believed in you. So now if the defense falls to fourth or fifth position, it's like, are you doing your job kind of a thing? And I want to tie this up with one more comment that you made earlier in the show, where you were like, did DeMeco have enough to tell Kyle not to block Hassan Reddick with Tyler Kroft? Would Steve Wilks have it? You as Steve Wilks, would you say that to Kyle, or would you be like, hey, you know what? I've seen a lot of people succeed here. Maybe this is just the way it is, and maybe this will still get me the number one defense. Like, we are at a very weird position with all this pressure on him.
I think Kyle feels he's probably doing Steve a favor, man. Like, I just gave you a great job. I'm setting you up to be a head coach in a couple years. Don't fight me. As opposed to Vic Fangio, who, man, he would have been doing the 49ers a favor. Now he's doing the Dolphins a favor. I don't know. And again, like, all because you didn't want to change to a 4-3. That's like 25% of your snaps anyway. Who cares? Once you're in nickel, it's no different. But okay. All right, Kyle, like, whatever. We'll see how it works. Nothing against Steve Wilks. I'm sure he's really good, but like, dude, Fangio's the best. The best. Could have had it. They're making fun of you in Miami for it. And the kid, good stuff, dude.
Thank you so much, Garrett. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Take care. Brunny Side Up says, if you play Trey and he stinks, you missed on a pick. At worst, if you play Brock and he falls off a cliff, you look incompetent. Which is worse? The second one. All right. Ahmed, what's up?
Oh, what up, man?
How you doing?
Here. I'm good. How are you doing?
I like your hat.
It's a bonnet. It's got out to shower you. You feel what I'm saying?
Dude, you're the first person to ever come on the show rocking a bonnet. So
for real?
Yep. But make sure it's blocking that light though, for sure. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There you go. You good. Block it. There you go. Boom. There it is. All right, sweet. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Connecticut. I used to live out in San Francisco. That's how I became a Niner fan back then. I actually had a quick question. I'll be quick. I got to hit the gym soon. So,
me too, dog.
So do you think I was watching one of your lives a couple months ago? You brought up what's his name? Bryce Young. Is that his name? What's his name?
Yeah, with Carolina.
No, not what's his name? Chase Young. There we go.
Chase Young.
Yeah, there we go. Do you think they're gonna trade for Chase Young?
No.
Why not?
Chase Young's got a knee that's mangled. Like, he didn't just tear his ACL, he tore like hella stuff in there. And there's something about the Niners, like, they're not the team to rehabilitate players like that. Like, if you have a messed up knee, don't go to the Niners. And I hope they figure that out about themselves too. There's something in the water out here. I don't know if it's the electrical vibrations, but it doesn't work in Santa Clara. So no, I would say no on Chase Young. I'm not sure that he's ever going to be much any, like, he RG3'd himself.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm only asking because I don't know if I feel that much confident on Drake Jackson.
Real quick, isn't it interesting how many edge rushers are still available in the market right now? Like, free agent market, guys straight up still available. It's almost like that's the running back of the defense. It's very important, very valuable, but kind of a dime a dozen. Like, there are guys you could get right now who could probably give you 10 sacks this year. Right now, available. Crazy.
Yeah, like I thought this team was like supposed to like win now. You know what I mean? So it's
what's up with
like
Drake?
Yeah.
Why are you? Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole thing with him benching 315, like that's not really too like you're a defensive lineman. He looks huge though, but it's like 315. You know
Like
what
I'm
I mean?
sure Brandon Ayuk can do that.
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
Christian McCaffrey can do that.
Exactly. So I don't know. Like I feel like they could probably get a little bit more production out of that side, especially like you got Javon Hargraves. Cool. I'm a fan of that. That D line looks pretty much set, but that last spot on the D line, I think it's the left side. I mean, it's just a little weird to me. Like you're supposed to win now. I'm thinking maybe like you know how they always do that one random trade during the half.
Might be that. But again, you could just sign a guy. You could just sign a guy. But the thing people don't realize about Drake Jackson, he's 22. He just turned 22. So you're talking about like a win now. Yeah, like that guy might not be ready. He might make his leap next year. And that's what Chris Kasarik said during minicamp. Like sometimes it's year 2, sometimes it's year 3. And Drake's very young and not that strong. So we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. I got one more question before I get out of here. You know how they always make that random midseason trade, you know, Christian McCaffrey, Emmanuel
Their
Sanders.
move.
Yeah.
It's their move.
Who do you think? Because I know they're going to do it this year. They have a first-round pick in 2024. You know, I don't know if they're going to use that or not.
It could depend on an injury. Like last year, Elijah Mitchell was hurt and Jeff Wilson Jr. was hurt. And they're like, we got to have a running back. Let's get the best one we can. So it could be dependent on injuries, or they could look at their right tackle and be like, we're not going to win a Super Bowl with this right tackle. We have a Super Bowl team, but we don't have a Super Bowl right tackle. That's what they sort of decided in 2019, right? They're like, we have a Super Bowl team. We're 8-0, but these wide receivers, like, we're not going anywhere with Dante Pettis starting, or Marquise Goodwin starting. We got to improve here, even though we're 7-0, which is smart. So
he did help.
No doubt. Absolutely.
I feel like those mid-season trades they make are really good. I feel like they know what they're doing when they make them. Like you said, they figure out where they're at towards mid-season.
Who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
What they
and
need.
they make the trade for who they want. So like I don't know, like who do you think, like it's kind of hard to guess the future, but like
I would like a right tackle. A right tackle. It's a very important position. And the Niners act like it's, you know, anything, like it's whatever. Nah.
Okay. All right.
You had Mike McGlinchey and got worse at that spot, but cheaper.
Yeah.
Nice.
Colton McKivitz, I mean, yeah, that's weird.
You cut that guy.
You could have started him if he was better than him, you know?
Thank you. If he was so much better than McGlinchey, he should have been playing last year. Ahmed? Is it Ahmed? Or how do you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Ahmed?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks for calling me, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. For sure. Later. King Geo says, funny how Grant praised Miami this whole time. Now they're not an impressive win. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Miami Dolphins stats from 2022. Miami Dolphins. Their defense ranked 18th in yards and 24th in points allowed last year. So, yeah, I mean, the Niners defense did a great job against Tua. Jalen Waddle was kind of hurt. But, I mean, Brock Purdy eviscerating that defense. Everyone eviscerated that defense. They fired their defensive coordinator. They just hired Vic Fangio. Funny, King Geo. Funny.
Hey, Grant.
What's up, Lunas? How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
It has. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. I hope you're good. I know it's been almost an hour and a half. I hope I won't be long.
All right.
Okay, I just wanted to share some thoughts on the season, the outlook, and all of that quickly, and we wanted to bounce some ideas off you. So, the first one to me is that the way, and I think a lot of people have pointed this out, the timing of the signing of Sam Darnold is very suspect, because it was on the first day. It was on the first day, right? So they didn't even wait. They signed him on the first day. So to me, that tells me that unless we see Lance wow them, I think it's Sam Darnold's job to do it. That's just the way I perceive it from the outside looking in.
Okay.
I hope Trey Lance wows them.
I don't see it that way. The way I see it is that we all knew the Niners needed another quarterback, and that was one of their top needs on offense. And they picked the one they wanted the most, and they didn't wait around, and they got him. Maybe it means that they think he's better than Trey Lance, or maybe it means they think he's better than the other options on the free agent market, and they didn't want to miss out. They didn't want to be stuck with freaking Baker Mayfield, who's a joke in the Niners locker room. You know what I mean? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's a combo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just, it's just the way I read.
I've seen Sam Darnold play a lot of games. I've seen him practice.
I mean, we have all done it.
I'm just not buying it, man. Like you can, with Trey, he needs to improve on his accuracy. Okay. There are coaches for that. With Sam, he needs to improve on his decision making. Okay. There are some coaches who maybe can simplify that process. Is Kyle one of them? I don't think so. So we'll have to see. I mean, Kyle's quarterbacks are the ones that always have problems with turnovers and interceptions. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's Monday they start training camp, right? Am I wrong? Or
I don't know when the first practice is actually. I think the first practice might be more like the 26th. I think their first practice might be Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay.
I think it's Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So that's one thing that I think about this. The other thing that I think, this is where I agree with you. It's a theory you've had all off season, and it's the theory you said about the Niners. A lot of the things they've been doing, especially the sudden praise of Trey Lance. I almost feel like a lot of things they've been doing is like trying to pressure Brock Purdy to come back.
I agree.
Like that's one theory I think you're actually 100% correct about.
I agree.
I think they want him to come back. I think the way I see it, and I'm not a doctor, but the way people have been talking about, like, to me, mid September would be the time for him to come back. That's like two weeks in, right?
He got a second opinion. He went to an independent doctor. It feels like, the Niners are a little in the dark and a little nervous, and Brock's saying the right things, but at the same time, they're trying to put a little implied pressure like, hey, buddy, if you think you can skip a month of this season and we'll just insert you onto the field in week 5, you got another thing coming, man, because Trey could be rolling. Sam could be rolling. And all you really are is a guy who was rolling for 2 months. So if you take a month off and another guy gets hot, well, then who are you? I think that's all implied. So we'll see what happens.
He doesn't really have the equity with the team, the way.
And you hear what Kyle, the way he talks, he's like, man, when these quarterbacks have success, it's because of the team.
Yeah.
It's because of what's around him. So I think he really feels like Brock had success. Great. Trey would have. Sam will too. Doesn't make you special, Brock. Don't think that makes you special, Brock. It's us, not you. That's, again, you're not the hero on this team. The hero on this team is the play caller, the tight end, the left tackle, the fullback, the running back, the wide receiver, the D end, everyone but you. Don't mess it up.
Yeah, that
Which is really rich when Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle get questions about the quarterback from national writers, and they're like, why do we always have to talk about the quarterback? Dude, you never have talked about quarterback on your team. It's the only team in the NFL that is not quarterback-centric.
Exactly. The funny thing is the Niners are the only team that I have noticed from what I have seen where the other guys get to be stars.
That's what I'm talking about.
Even Julio
they
Jones.
Love it. They love it. And that's from Kyle to Trent to Debo to all of them. They all love it. And I think that's the problem with this team. That's why the quarterback will never be the hero. He'll always be the scapegoat. Giannis, I got to take my call.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Sorry, man.
No, all
stuff. Oh, we're good. All right, man. Ink Talk TV says, can we stop talking about Purdy like he is healthy? I never heard an injured player get talked about so much like the team is will tank without him. Yeah, I mean, like, we don't even know that he's going to make a full recovery in time for the season to start. So maybe we should just take it one day at a time. TC, you ready? You ready?
Yes, sir. What's up, Grant?
What's up, TC? How you doing?
What's up, bro? I ain't called in a long time, brother.
Good to see you, man. What are we talking about today?
Hey, you gonna be at camp Wednesday, 26?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at camp every day. You gonna be there?
Yep. I'm gonna be there one of the first days, and I think I'm going in August too. So I'll meet you up there. But hey, look, I agree with all the other callers. Hey, this is it for Shanahan, bro. Seriously, he gonna have to figure it out. This is like his last leg. Kyle, he ain't developing nobody. Brock came in already. Whatever development Brock had, he developed on his own. Trey Lance had to dip out, go to Jeff Christensen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna take credit for any success, but like, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Period. I'm not giving Shanahan no pass. You know how I feel about Shanahan. He see me in the chat all the time, bro. When I'm tapping in with everybody, I'm bro. I'm not giving that dude no more passes. And just like the last caller said, we're the only team that all the other players are on the team, other than the most important position. And then this fan base want to crown this guy, crown Lynch, and grout the franchise like we're doing something special. No, we're not, bro. We ain't got the most important position.
I feel like the whole organization is trying to make a point that quarterback is overrated, and it doesn't. It's like, no, it's not. It's more important than ever, every year. And then I'm just like, not us, man. We're the team that runs the ball and beats you up and plays physical. 1975 football, like, nah, dude, you're not gonna win a Super Bowl like that. You're not.
No, bro, that's
close.
sad.
It is.
Yeah.
Sad.
So I mean, that's really that's all I got, man. I think Trey finna. Well, I know Trey finna grab the bull by the horns, man, and he finna push everybody against it. I'm telling you, and he gonna make it to where Kyle has to make a decision, and if he don't run.
TC. All right, man. TC, I got to let you go. You froze. It was good to see you, man. I just feel like with Trey, I can't prove it, but I think handing him the team last year probably didn't bring out the best in him. I can't prove it. But I think what's happened the last 12 months, it wasn't the plan, but now I think you're seeing a very mature, grown-up, focused, determined version of Trey. I don't think he's got any distractions this year. I don't think we're seeing any videos of him at parties. I know Debo can do that. Corners can do that. Tight ends can do that. You can't do that. You're the quarterback. It's hard enough to be a franchise quarterback, even if you are singularly focused on that one thing your whole life. If you're not singularly focused, I don't know that you can do it. And again, you're competing with Brock, who is not partying like that. At least there's no evidence of that. He's married. You're single. So I think this is the best version of Trey. I think he's locked in, and I'm not betting against him. The stride abides is clearly driving. I see you, buddy. We'll get you in a little bit when you pull over. I'll get you next. Once you pull over, I got you. I'm going to get A. Donato right now.
Hey, Grant, can you hear me?
How you doing? Yeah, you got
Good,
some
man.
pretty bad service, though, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, you're not getting.
Sorry.
You're getting a little close.
Yeah. Here, see if you can go inside. I'm going to come back to you because I'm going to come back to you because I think you can get some better service. I believe in you, A. Donato. Yeah.
Shit, I believe in you. But no, so look, I got one thing to speak on, just one, and it's the whole Brock Purdy thing. Like, I think we really aren't putting into enough thought that he really might not play this year. I played football up to college. I got 2 cousins in the NFL. I got 2 family friends in the NFL. So like I've seen injuries and everything, and then also I understand like how it stripped your confidence from you. Yeah. So like they're not understanding he had a grade 3 tear. That's a complete tear in his elbow, his throwing elbow. He already didn't have crazy arm strength. You get me? So like coming back and you like, oh, can I make this throw? Can I make this throw? Can I do this? Can I do that? Like they're not really putting into thought like how that goes, the mental aspect.
All of a sudden he's going to be thinking when last year he was reacting, right?
And then also like I'm looking at the schedule, bro. The first 6 weeks we play against good pass rush teams. Like in order to put somebody out that's not even 100% healthy and then think that they're going to go out there perform with thinking in the back of their mind, can you do this? And then you got to also think in the back of your mind like, okay, I got Aaron Donald coming straight down the line, straight down the pipe.
Michael Parsons.
The other thing that really hurts him is, and a lot of people aren't talking about this a lot too, is he had no offseason to go and fine tune what he struggled in. For instance, like everybody highlights that he likes to roll out to the left, which all you have to do to negate that, put your best edge rusher on that side and just funnel him to the right, which he struggles to throw from. And I mean, it throws off a lot of his game, so he didn't even have enough time to go and train.
That's coming from Brock. That's coming from Brock. Yes.
So, I mean, personally, I don't see the GMs. I don't see people in the front office wanting to sit there and go and put him out in the line of fire. I'm not talking about the front office. I'm not talking about the coach. But I don't think them thinking that he's a franchise quarterback will want to put him in that type of line of fire with all that pressure that they're going to have with the front line, the injury, blah, 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 and then knowing how the media is going to massacre him if he doesn't go out there and perform. So I think Trey's probably going to end up being our starter, personally.
I think so, too. I think they don't want to anoint him. They don't want to put pressure on him. They want him to earn the job, unlike last year. But it's going to be him week 1. Throwing Brock Purdy out there week 1 with no offseason to prepare is like a bad reason for a million reasons. And I think, like you said, like the average fan doesn't quite fathom how difficult this is going to be and how maybe uncertain Brock is going to feel.
I also don't think the average fan understands that if that run game and that defense doesn't show up in those first few weeks when he's at quarterback and not having a great arm. I mean, you don't have to have the biggest arm, but not having an arm to where you could throw a 15-yard out, you could throw a 20-yard out corner, 20-yard corner breaking out on time. Like it really
or you can
holds
fit that ball into
back.
really tight windows.
Yeah, like it really holds that offense back, and that's part of the reason why they got Trey Lance, because if you could get somebody with a strong arm like that could touch all facets of the field, it's kind of hard to defend that with a run game.
Stretch the defense.
Yeah, so
it's the same concept in basketball. Like you need to stretch the defense. You need 3-point shooting. The Niners like only score within 8 feet of the freaking basket. It's the whole thing. It's so hard.
Have you broke down the all 22?
Yes.
It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary seeing where all we don't throw it. It looks just like Jimmy, to be honest, but like it's really.
I always say like the Niners play football on like a tennis court. Like they just don't use the full field. You know what I'm saying? It's like once teams are really locked in, like you have a good defensive coordinator who knows what you're trying to do, and you have some talent. Like, man, they can shut down that tennis court. This is not enough grass that you're threatening.
I mean, that's what happened with Dallas. All they were doing was covering one robber, making sure somebody was sitting on the inside of the or in the middle of the field. They had somebody hovering over the top, and he threw I think almost 4 picks that game too. Because you can't.
They did, Seattle did the same thing the week before, but they just didn't have the talent to really pull it off for 4 quarters. Dallas did.
Well, and on top of that, they didn't. The offense wasn't rolling enough. I think one of the issues we're going to face this year, if he is at quarterback, is if we don't get a lead, if we have to play from behind, he's going to have to play out of shotgun, and he struggled out of shotgun a lot last year.
Point.
Yeah, so
he's much more effective under center than even Jimmy.
Yeah,
because
he definitely
he can roll out left and right. Although you're right, man. Why is he more effective rolling left and right? What is that?
I mean, it could be anything. Like if he's right armed, right?
Yep.
So you get your whole entire body into the throw and you're rolling to the left. But when you're rolling from the right, you don't get your whole run.
Run. That's a good point. He could he roll left, set his feet. Yeah. But on the right, you can't stop, really.
Yeah.
Good point.
And
you know way too much about football, man.
You said what?
You know way too much about football. It's like you got
I played the position. I mean, I didn't get as far as he did. I went to college, but I didn't get as far as he did. But I played the position. I think the last thing that a lot of people don't take into account too is and you'll see it a lot with Trey, is it's a rhythm-based position. So if you could get on rhythm, like my best case for it is if you go back to Deshaun Watson's rookie year and you watch from week 1 up until he got hurt in practice, and you'll see how much he was getting his rhythm and how much more advanced in the offense he was getting. It's just
because he could play week out without getting hurt like Brock did.
Yeah. So I mean, whoever
Trey could ever get a chance to get in a rhythm.
Yeah.
I feel you.
But yeah, that's all I really had, brother.
Where you from?
I'm from the Bay.
Where? I'm from the Bay.
Oakland.
Oakland? I'm from Oakland. Where'd you go to high school?
Oh shoot, I bounced around. I went to Savannah out in LA, and then I went and transferred out to Cedar Park. I played against Baker his senior year. Or his junior year, my senior year.
When did you leave Oakland?
When? I left in 08.
08.
Mm-hmm.
So, how old are you?
So I'm 30. I just hit 30.
Okay. All right. So we didn't grow up together. All right, man. Well, good to meet you, man. Good stuff. You killed it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Take care. All right, Donato. That's a little bit
Grant,
better.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Better.
Hey, well, good. Sorry about all that. Yeah, trust me, I know. All right. Well, no, first off, from Michigan here, so not really from the Bay. So, no, I've been watching the Niners since John Lynch kind of took over. I've been a Lynch fan since when he was a player. So that's kind of my reason for joining in. So I've been watching you for a while. So thank you for all your content. And I really appreciate you and your dad for doing your thing. I really enjoy that. So thank you guys I read his book and all that. Checked it out at the library. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. So no, I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm not too far from Ann Arbor and Detroit, so I kind of go in between. So I've watched a lot of Jake Moody. I'm actually from his local. I've seen him kick in high school.
You Dearborn?
No, I live in like Northville.
Okay.
I know, Sala from Dearborn.
That's Sala's spot. Yeah.
Yep. No, I know where that is. I actually went to school down there at U of M Dearborn, so no, I'm quite familiar with it. But I just wanted to say, I guess the one thing that I guess with the Niners that frustrates me the most is, kind of they think they've done it, they haven't. I just think back to that game against Detroit week 1, when Trey Lance, that first touchdown to Sherfield, that little play action, and back against the Rams in the NFC Championship a few years ago, just that little bit of deception I feel like has been missing in the offense. And, Shanahan, very creative, all this and that. At the same time, you need a little bit of deception and a little bit of risk taking. You know what I mean? So I feel like just being, we know how conservative they get. We know Debo doesn't get the ball in the fourth quarter, this, and this. It's just, they need to just go for it. You know what I mean? They just don't be hesitant. Like why didn't we see Trey in that game against the Rams at the end there? Why didn't we? It was 4th and 1. 4th and 1. We could have just in 1 yard. Or it was just something, right? Just a little bit of something.
And like you were doing that early in the season, it worked. He starts the game for you.
It was working.
He wins. You bring back Jimmy, who's hurt, and now it's like, oh, we can't do that anymore. It's like, why don't you have some conviction in something you want to freaking do this year?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So this year, take all the stuff they've learned. 6 years, right? It's been 6 years since Lynch and Ben, whatever, how long? It's been a long time.
Yes, you're 7.
So that's what I mean. So it's been a long time. So buckle up, take what you've learned, know what you've remember those games when you get in the moments. Like, oh man, what did we do here? So dial it up. That's what we're here. That's what we're here to remind them of.
Use all your quarterbacks. You want to use a 2-quarterback system in 2021? Use a 3-quarterback system this year. Figure it out, Kyle. You're a genius.
That's what I'm saying.
You're the smartest person in the room.
I mean, yeah, right, exactly. So they got to figure it out. They and a little bit more depth, I think, especially on the D line, the edge position is D line, defensive end. I just don't, because when they had Buckner, Armstead, and Bosa on the rookie and D Ford, they just need one more guy that's a little bit, something, because they need somebody else that's going to come in and just be unknown and just take over, because that's kind of what Bosa was. Everybody knew he was a good player, but he just, when he that rookie year, he just
instant impact, for sure.
So that's what I'm saying. They were overloading people on that. They didn't know who we. But
that's why they started off 8-0 that year, because of their D, not because of their offense.
Yeah, the offense was clicking. They had some big runs and all that, but like Breida and that. But
they didn't really start clicking until they got Sanders at the trade deadline. That's how the Niners are.
Right.
Their offense starts clicking mid-October. The defense is what can carry them early in the year.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. And as we said, it's
very much the
Shanahan's an
D-line,
offensive coach, and we got the defensive team. So you know what I mean. So anyway, I just wanted to say, they just got to learn from take what they learned, and like when they go into Philly this year, don't be surprised. Like I feel like like with all this, like we felt hassled, we felt just know you're getting dropped into a war zone. Understand.
Well, if you think about it, last year they didn't have many road games. Like they would go on the road.
No, they had a really
short trip, or the people in the fans were Niner fans on the road. Like that's a road game. And this year they're going to have a lot of actual road games. Donato, you got to go. I see it. I got you.
No. One second. Yeah, no, I'm going to be at the Cleveland game. I think I'll see you there. My dad's bugging me.
All right, man.
No, and then I want to go to the Pittsburgh game, but yeah. So I can, it's an easy drive for me. But yeah, so that's what I mean. They got some road games. Hopefully they can, because that's going to make you early on too. That's going to.
They were battle tested on the road games in 2021 They had a bunch of them, and it served them well.
Yeah. They didn't even leave the West Coast last year. I know what I mean. I know what you mean. So let's see what they can do. And hey, best of luck to you this year for covering the team. And really, thank you for your coverage and all everybody out there. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. So hopefully I'll talk to you soon, and have a good safe travels this year when you hit the road. So all right.
Thank you. Have a good one. Take care. All right, Jaden.
Yes, sir. Okay.
What's up, Jaden? How you doing, baby? And then Marcus.
So I'm. The Ravens, they just signed Kyle Van Noy and Melvin Gordon. I think they're trying to be win now, like the Niners were a couple of years ago.
Ravens are usually a pretty good team.
I think the main reason why the Niners aren't a win team right now is because the quarterback injuries, obviously, that they had last year. But that leads into what I really want to talk about. Who's going to be the center for this damn team? Is it Jake Brendel, or who is it going to be?
This question. I like this question. Okay, so Jake Brendel played very well last year, but Jake Brendel is like 290 pounds.
Yeah,
he's a little small. He's good at the outside zone blocking, but you can bully him straight up. You can bully him. And if you look at what Philly and Dallas did, maybe the two biggest competitors in the Niners in the NFC, they got huge D tackles this year.
Oh, big.
Jalen Carter, Mazzie Smith, big dudes. Guys who can sort of collapse the pocket where the Niners are sort of light. And so what the Niners did was they signed Feliciano, who's like 325 pounds. So if Brendel starts getting pushed around a little bit, which could happen, they got Feliciano, who started 17 games at center last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brendel's spot is not locked in. I'm putting it that way. It's not locked in.
Okay. Yeah. And then this kind of ties into, you said big boys, right?
Big boys.
On our D line, all our other fans are talking about how we need a new defensive end opposite of Bosa, right? What about Yannick Ngakoue? When he played for the Raiders, he had like 10 sacks that year.
I'm saying
and
there are so many
beast,
edge rushers
man.
who are still available. I get the feeling that these maybe these vet edge rushers don't want to go to camp, and maybe they'll get signed sort of after training camp. But yeah, eventually I think the Niners need to take a good look at Drake, see him in the preseason, see him in practice, and then make a decision.
I know you know this. When does free agency, like, when does that end? Like, when can you not sign free agents no more?
Oh, you can sign free agents all throughout the year, baby.
Oh,
all
really?
throughout the year.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guys on the
So
street.
then
Yep.
they could, you know, that mid-season trade, instead of mid-season trade, mid-season pickup Yannick
No question.
Ngakoue.
Although I don't know that Yannick Ngakoue is going to be chilling week 7, but
yeah,
that's a guy. Yeah. Yeah. If they get him,
he's
that changes their team big time for sure.
Because my brother, he's a Raiders fan, and so like when I'm down at home, I'm always watching Raiders game. And when he was on the Raiders, he was actually doing really well with Max Crosby and then Yannick Ngakoue. That was a crazy duo. And Nick Bosa, Yannick Ngakoue, that would be insane.
Yep.
And then we got Hargrave right in the middle.
Yeah. Troop.
Yes,
all right, man. Well, I'm gonna put in a good word with the Niners. Tell them to get Yannick Ngakoue for you. See what I can do. Oh, sorry about that, Jaden. Sorry about that.
Sir.
Good to see you, man. Take care.
Have a good day, man.
You too, Marcus.
What
sorry
it do,
to make you wait, man? What it do, man? What it don't do?
I just got to beautiful Fresno, California. Hot, beautiful.
Oh, I love Fresno.
Yes.
I've never been to Fresno.
Anyways, hopefully you're having a good day. Thanks for having me on.
I'm having a great day.
Yeah. I'm kind of at an impasse as a Niner fan.
Ooh.
This is obviously faithful, but I must say this is the first year that I really haven't been super excited for the season to start in a while, in years, probably since 2019, maybe.
Why do you feel like you know where this one's going?
Yeah. Well, it's
same
weird.
Story, different day.
Exactly, same story, different day. We can win as you know, with the quarterback, whatever quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's weird because I do think we probably have one of the best rosters that we've had going into a season, and I don't know if 2019 was a better roster than this roster. I feel like we have one or two possible all pros at each level of the team when you think about it. And I think that's because of the quarterback situation, which I am pretty tired of hearing about. To be honest with you, I'm ready. That's honestly, one of the reasons I'm ready for the season to start. Honestly, I want to know who the starter is. So
yeah,
but
can we talk about something else, please? Yeah.
Yes, but that leads
no.
I got a couple. I got two of my questions stolen. I only got one question for you, and I'll bounce out. And hopefully, you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. But if you were given 100%, of the possibility, and you had to break it up between the three, possible starting quarterbacks, what percentage would you give each person?
Week 1?
Yes.
Week 1? Okay. I feel like it's let me do my math real quick. Like 40% Trey, 35% Brock, 25% Sam. Is that the right math? No.
Close enough.
No.
Wow.
Close
so you
enough.
got
I think that's right.
Pretty even
I think,
across.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle knows what he's going to do. I think Kyle's completely open-minded. I think they would like Brock to start week 1, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be back in time, as the previous caller talked about. So in that case, I would say that Trey has a significantly better chance to start week 1 than Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I don't see how Sam Darnold week 1, given that this is his first year.
Oh, I mean, the only Niners get quarterbacks hurt every day. Practice, preseason, meetings.
That's true.
Locker room. So you never know.
Yeah, I think that's what this season will come down to. Will be health.
Yeah, just like the Niners are consistently one of the top 10 most injured teams in the league, and they're like, sorry.
Yeah. And we have the least rest this year. And
what could go wrong? What could go wrong, Marcus? Stay tuned. For season 7 of the Kyle Shanahan show. It's just like the other seasons.
Yeah,
it literally has the same ending every season.
Yeah,
it's fun.
But I am excited what Wilkes brings to the defense, especially the cornerbacks and the free safeties. So
I'm intrigued too. I want to see what Javon Hargrave brings to the defense. That's his game.
Beast mode, baby. Beast mode.
Good to see you, man.
Have a good one.
All right, man. Take care. Rod, the people's champ.
What's going on, bro?
You're the last call of the day, man.
Okay, well, I won't make it long. It's good to see you too. I like that haircut too, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Look, man, I was watching Kruger and Nails the other day, and so the narrative starting to change now because of Patrick Mahomes, quarterback coach, in the offseason.
Good point. It's almost like Kyle never did anything publicly to back Trey Lance, so a lot of people took shots. But now that Patrick Mahomes has kind of put his arms around him and his coach and said he's worthwhile, everyone's like, okay, maybe we should reevaluate things. Even the Niners.
Man,
even his teammates. It's weird.
I've never seen it. And what is your take on the comment?
Well, perception is everything.
By youth check.
Perception is everything. So the Niners don't really back Trey publicly. And what are people supposed to think? People are going to think, well, Trey sucks, and they think it. But all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes says work with me, and his coach says work with me, and says I can fix you, I can break you down. And there's people who've been there and be like, man, Trey looks like a whole different guy. Now the perception is he's got the best quarterback in the world co-signing him. It's a good thing. Yeah. You don't have the best coach in the world co-signing you, but the best quarterback in the world co-signing you. And maybe that even carries weight with Kyle. Maybe Kyle looks at you differently like, oh, snap. Maybe. It seems like it. It seems like it, which is funny that it had to come to this.
Well, Grant, I think you and I both agreed a while back, man. We know that these guys watch your show. So it's just fun. It's amazing to me. You even made the comment yourself how this got to be the most scrutinized quarterback in football history, man. Especially the type of respect that he's gotten being the top 3 overall pick. I've never seen it.
And I think the players need to know the narratives about these quarterbacks. The players need to know that there's a perception that half the locker room doesn't want Trey to play. They got to know that. We've been talking about this for years.
Yeah. What do you think that is, man? I mean, is there anything other than just the wobble in his throws or just the lack of playing? I mean,
he's very young. He's very young, and these players all have opinions that they don't necessarily, that are above their pay grade. And I think they're saying we just want a quarterback who's ready to go. Like Juszczyk's like, I'm 33 years old. I want to do it now. I think that's kind of the attitude of the vets. They're not willing to wait around. And maybe that's fair. Maybe that's fair. But at the same time, are you really sure? Like Trey could be ready right now. You don't know. He hasn't really been given a chance.
And how much credit is he going to? I mean, you do such a good job of going in Kyle Shanahan's head, but the thing that you have to ask yourself is, okay, well, now if Trey Lance is ready, and if he does go out and show that he's the guy, then who's going to? You have to think Patrick Mahomes, quarterback coach, is going to get more credit than you because you haven't shown the ability to develop quarterbacks yet. It's like you said, you play musical chairs because your quarterbacks get hurt every year. And that's not me trying to play Grant Cohn and criticize Kyle, but it's just, I mean, like I say all the time, man, you have to look at it. You're not just giving an opinion. You're stating facts. And the fact is, this guy had Brian Hoyer. He's had Nick Mullins. He's had C.J. Beathard. It's like, how many opportunities does one coach get?
Kyle gets a lot. And I feel like he's had more than most coaches would get. And it's time for him to show that he can do something at this position.
So this is Super Bowl of buzz year then, correct?
I think so. I think so.
I appreciate your time, Grant. Have a good one, bro.
Man. Good to see you, man. 2-hour show. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate you guys calling in, watching. Training camp starts this week. We're back. We're back, baby. Let's do this. Are the Niners going to win a Super Bowl this year? I don't think so. I'd like them to. It would be fun. I feel like it'd be good for business if they were champions. Like I enjoy critiquing them and reminding them that they haven't accomplished anything yet, but I think it would be better for business in general for them to actually get over the hump. So I'm rooting for them. I'm also prepared for them to fall short. See what happens. Thanks for watching. I'll be back.